I know a lot of Met fans were upset about this. And I'm going to tell you why Met fans should be looking brighter than they think. They should see what they have with Beatty, okay? Beatty did not play healthy all season long. When he came into the league, he was on fire. Then for a week and a half before he got hurt, he just couldn't hit the ball, and he had problems hitting the ball and even making some dumb mistakes. This guy is a talented third baseman. This guy can hit for power and hit for average. He's one of the better hitters in AAA last year before he got called up. He was the Mets' best hitting prospect. The fact that they were going after Carlos Correa showed me that they don't believe in their farm system. Now they have a chance to see what Beatty is. If Beatty is a guy that can give you 25, 30 home runs and give you a pretty good defensive third baseman and give you about 80 to 90 RBIs this year, or 75 RBIs this year in his second year and first full season as a major league player, you don't have to go after Carlos Correa. As a matter of fact, when Manny Machado becomes available next year, which he will because he opted out of the contract, a lot of people think that's who the Mets are going to go after. Honestly, if Beatty shows that he could play this year at the third base position, I don't do that. I do not do that. Mm-hmm. I think they have to see what they have with some of these young players. You can't just give them away. I know everybody's going to say you want a sure thing. Carlos Correa wasn't a sure thing, and I think the Mets knew that. I think the Giants knew that because of the injury and being put in the position that the Mets were when they decided to give him or offer him a 12-year, $315 million contract when they didn't even look at the health situation. It really shows that the Mets were being finally cautious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's something that the Mets don't do. And Steve Cohen, who everybody says, he doesn't care about money. And I remember all the Met fans, we got Carlos Correa. You didn't get Carlos Correa, but I wouldn't jump off a plank because you didn't get Carlos Correa. I think you're in position, if you want, in the offseason next year, if Beatty doesn't work out this year, can't stay healthy, you have a chance to get Manny Machado. And they will overpay for Manny Machado. Why? Because Manny Machado is still, if you look at his age, Carlos Correa is 27, Manny Machado's 29, 30. He's going to be 30, 31 going into the offseason next year. You're still going to get a quality player, maybe not a clutch hitter like a Carlos Correa in the playoffs, and Machado is not a good playoff hitter, but who knows? Maybe, going to the Mets in a lineup like that protects him a little bit better, he will be. So, and I think he's a better defensive player than Carlos Correa, if you ask me. I think Manny Machado.
Third.
Yeah. Manny Machado might be a better choice for the Mets. And really, when it comes to health-wise, Manny Machado plays hurt. He plays. Now, everybody's going to say, well, Carlos Correa, if you look at his numbers, and I love when Josh says, well, you look at this number, you look at that number. Carlos Correa played 130 games in the last 5 years. You have to look at the distance to the position that they both play. Carlos Correa never played third base. He never did. He would probably have to put on some weight to hit more power, which could put more pressure on his ankle where he had, a plate put in and might not hold up for the next 3 or 4 years. Right. Hence the reason why I get a 6-year deal worth about $200 million and took $115, $120 million pay grade, pay less. Mm. So I think if you're a Met fan, you should be happy that they didn't sign Carlos Correa.
Yeah, I was mixed on the deal initially because I didn't like the 12 years, and the average annual value was pretty good. But this current average annual value for the $200 million, especially with having Scott Boras as his client, definitely shows there is concern with that. Now, it is 33, so he's still got a good amount. But again, it's something that Scott Boras, you definitely would have wanted.
On the short term.
Yeah, on the short term.
He wanted a long-term deal. He wanted 10, 12 years. That's what he wanted. Yes. And he didn't get that.
Yeah, Jeff, I said it's $33 million more. So, so it's $33 million. So that is $7 million more a year. So I'm just saying, though, that with the 6 years, that was the only way it was going to drop down to that average annual value, which definitely shows that there is question with that injury. Whatever is found out about it, the Twins medical staff has not revealed anything to the public that we know about at the moment. It's right now just classified as an unknown injury and probably something that dates back to when he was a rookie in 2015 or in the minor leagues in 2014.
We don't know how bad the injury is. Obviously, the Mets, they have a concern. The Giants definitely had a concern. And I remember the Met fans when the Giants decided to part ways and how the league were taking shots at the Giants that nobody will go and play for the Giants because they decided to part ways with that contract that they offered. Now the Giants look smart. They do. And if you look at guys like Ohtani that is going to be a free agent next year, where everybody thinks he's going to go to the Mets, and the Mets are going to go heavily after Ohtani. They might, but there are other teams out west that are going to overpay for Ohtani.